We are live.
Oop, that was me. Sorry. There you go now. Oh, good. Now,
You're good?
yes. I just had to mute my.
It always happens. You always think we do it, but we don't.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Marilyn. Hello, Annie. And I think, please forgive me, I think your name is Melissa, Little House in the Big Woods. I hope it's Melissa.
I think so.
Well, Marilyn says hello, Melissa, so I really hope I was right.
I think it is.
Hello, Lynn. Welcome, everyone. I have missed you. It's been a full week. Well, actually, no, 2, because I missed last week live. I was recuperating from this nasty virus. I was the second one in my family to get it. My youngest did not have any symptoms at all. And I was in bed for 48 hours. So it was kind of weird that he only had, hello, Remy.
Hey,
He only had fever for like 8 hours and then he was done. That was not the case for me. The 3 first days I was fine, like battling like a bad cold, but then the 2 days after that, it was like being part of a wreck. Like multiple cars hitting me, and then my body was like trying to fight it off, but it just didn't work. So I had to listen to it and do nothing, which is very hard.
Oh, man.
So how is everyone doing in the chat? What have you been up to this week? I will read your comments as you bring them in. Have you been transplanting or doing anything in your garden, Tracy?
Yes, actually, I have. I have been watching tomato plants die.
No. Why is that?
Well, I transplanted some brandywines and some black prince.
Okay.
And I put 2 of each in the greenhouse. Then I went ahead and I tried an experiment with 2 brandywine or 2 black princes.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got a big wave of cold, and I didn't keep it quite warm enough in there. And the black princes are not doing well at all. The brandywines, they still seem like they might recover.
Do you, in your black prints, are they still standing up?
Yeah, but all the leaves, it looks like they're just like wilted. Oh, Remy's fishing.
He's actually fishing as he's watching the live?
Yep, that's what he's saying.
I'm fishing, so can't stay too long. Fine, you're
Okay.
excused. You're temporarily excused for tonight. Well, you could be surprised. Tomato can, if you watered it really deeply, you could save it.
Okay.
But it's probably going to take a while for it to bounce back. Because if the walls of the tomato plant froze, they're just going to fall on its side. But if it's still standing up, after how many days has it been?
It's been at least a week.
And it's not dead?
No, they're still nice and green and still standing up. Which I'm lucky. I've got all that top big green mush you see there. That's all tomato plants still, and then down below I've got more. And apparently, I need to wait till probably the beginning of April instead of the beginning of March to transplant or to plant my seeds. I got a little ahead of myself because they're getting big.
When is your frost date?
May 15th is the 50% chance one.
Okay. I used to plant my tomatoes, seedlings, around March 17th, which I think is what you did. Or no, you did March 1st.
March 6th, I think it
March
was.
6th.
Something like
I knew it was in March. This year I'm trying something new, and you will my last frost date is May 12th. So if my experience work, you can try it, because I had like trees to manage last year,
hmm
and like I couldn't fit them in my shelves. So this year I sowed April 4th. I know it sounds crazy, but a tomato seedling is only supposed to stay inside of your house for 6 weeks.
Right.
And you transplant them after the danger of frost. My last frost is May 12th, but last year and the year before, I had a risk of frost at May 30th. So this year, I count from January 5th instead of using May 12th. And I backed up 6 to 8 weeks. So it brings me around the beginning of April. So my seedlings right now are this tall.
Oh, nice. So they're just getting their true leaves.
Yeah, their first set of True Leaf just came out. So, yes, I'm seeing all these people having those beautiful tomato plants, but they're going to be like trees by the end of the month.
Yeah.
So, I rather have smaller, compact plant than having those like 18 inches tall like I had last year.
Yeah, my grow lights, I've got the little wand style grow lights, and they're not even touching the tomatoes because the tomatoes are so tall. Um, but I was hoping, I misunderstood what a greenhouse does per se.
Okay.
It will extend my season, a little bit in the beginning and maybe a whole lot at the end. When the
Mm-hmm.
plants are mature, they might be able to take a little more than that. But with the three, I got three 55-gallon barrels in there, and they're not holding the
They're not holding enough heat.
yeah, they're not holding quite enough heat. I've got a little uh terracotta pots tipped upside down
Is that
and
working?
hooked together. They get up, the terracotta pot gets up to like 120 degrees with two candles under it. Uh,
Do you have
the
a fan to circulate the air so that the
No,
heat?
I don't have a fan out there. I'm working. I've got my small solar panel system, the 200 watt, hooked to a battery in the tool shed, and I'm thinking of transferring that to the greenhouse so I can have a fan and possibly I don't think I could run a heater off just one battery in that small system, but
Well, you do you know what an echo fan is?
echo fan.
It's a fan that you put on top of a heat source, and it's the heat that makes the propellers turn.
Yep, yep.
You normally put that on top of your wood stove or gas stove or some sort of heat,
hmm
and it's going to push the heat further. So if your candles are reaching 100 degrees Fahrenheit, I'm
Yes,
supposing,
Fahrenheit. Yeah,
I maybe just a fan would actually help you push some of the heat and make sure that part of your greenhouse is heated. But a greenhouse only extends like a cold frame.
right,
So without supplemental heat, your greenhouse is simply like a dome. So
right,
if it's freezing temperatures outside during the day, it's going to go up to like my 20 degrees Celsius, which is, I think, 70 degrees Fahrenheit for you. But at night, it's going to be exactly the same temperature outside without the windshield.
right,
So if frost comes, it won't reach inside of your greenhouse if everything is closed. So you gain a couple of degrees
right,
that way. But like it's only like a big, huge cold frame unless you find a way of making that heat everywhere. And bigger the space is, more requirement of heat you're going to have. That's why I
right.
divided in three sections. I don't think I'm not sure if you've seen that modification I did with my high tunnel. I divided it 4 feet by 20 feet,
Yeah,
and I am able to keep it warm ish at night because it's a smaller area than with my entire greenhouse.
right. Um, yeah. I've got a cool little thermometer, which the review of it should be coming out Monday, I think. Um, but it Bluetooths to your phone,
Mm-hmm.
and you can see the red on that. This is to wait. This is yeah. This is today. This is up to just a little bit ago. The red on that is over 100.
That's not good.
No. I had two. I opened two windows this morning because it said it was going to be 46 degrees out was supposed to be my high, and well, I'm at 60 right now. So if I would have opened two more windows, I think I would have been really good. But this, if I go back to the week, you can see there's a
Yeah,
couple red.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. You have peaks and
yeah,
going up.
the peaks are the days, and then you have let's see, right over here you'll have the red.
Yeah,
And
for the
and
freezing.
yeah, that's below. Well, that went down to 28. But anything below 35 and it shows red. Unfortunately, I'm not close enough to the greenhouse to get a Bluetooth alert on my phone when it dips below there. Um,
Wouldn't you love that at like 12 o'clock at night? Beep, beep, beep.
if it saves my plants,
Okay, y'all. Yeah, true, true. So Lynn says, I spent 7 hours outside today. I am sunburnt and exhausted, but happy. Don't forget to treat that sunburn.
yeah,
It was a sunny weekend. For us, it was on and off.
yeah.
So Marilyn, you probably had most of the sun. And he says, good, I'm still alive. You know what my to-do list looks like. Yes, Annie, we talk like on a regular basis, and her to-do list is like huge. 6 kids, a home
Wow.
stay-at-home mom, full-time homesteader.
God bless
And
you.
yes, yes. And she has a 3-year-old with her all the time.
Wow.
I think it's 3 or 4. Yes, Remy. No worries. Oh, you don't say tomato tree. Well, they look like trees. They look like trees. They were last year, they were over 18 inches tall. And the day that I transplanted them, they were almost 24 inches tall. I had to cut the heads of the tomato plant and root the head and toss the roots because it was ridiculous. Like the stem was like super fragile, and if I would have just planted that 24-inch tomato plant, I probably would not have any success if I had wind blow it, or it probably would have snapped. So I just cut the head, stuck it in water, and then it made roots. I just transplanted it.
Yeah, my brandywines, they're indeterminates, and they got tall enough where the ones that I up potted them again because I started way too early. But I took a stick that had branches sticking out of it, and I tied wire and hung down, and I got the plant clips at the dollar store, and so they're already being supported. But they've got nice thick uh, trunks to them because of that little grow light works really good.
Good. Do you brush your plants to make sure that they experience the element?
No, I haven't. Should I? When I hit them when I water.
Well, yes. Brushing or a fan helps. So
Okay.
you're teaching them to survive wind. So
Okay.
you just like you would brush your hair.
Yeah.
You do the same thing on top of all your seedlings a couple of times a day. So you're making them experiment elements so
So
that
so they're
when
kind of flexing.
yeah, or if you don't want to brush them, I've seen people like just shake their 10 by 20 trays, but like I wouldn't do that because like my pots would probably fall off.
Right.
So I prefer brushing them. But I got myself a fan that moves so that I no longer do it because I kept forgetting. And this year some of my seedlings are a little bit leggy. Nothing to be too stressed, but a little bit, especially my flowers.
I got the grow lights just in time to keep my tomatoes from going really leggy.
Well, it is an investment. The lights. If you have peppers and tomatoes, unless like you're gifted like a big, huge south facing window that has nothing over it, that gives you full sun exposure, you don't necessarily need the lights. But if you're not blessed with that, at least for those types of plants, I recommend always having like at least one set of lights.
Well, that is a south-facing window, but I noticed my plants, they grow up, and it's amazing to me because they don't have muscles, but they bend,
Yeah, they lean.
and so I set the grow lights up to kind of counter that, and I run them all during the day till I go to bed, and it kind of prevented some of that because I guess they weren't getting quite enough light. They were searching for all that light.
So like it's probably south, but not full south. Or you have like an overhang over your window and it's like struggling a little bit and it's
Yeah,
stretching its legs. Well, not the legs, but it's stretching to find lights.
yeah.
I have looked ahead, and after this Thursday, we stay well above freezing. So I hope May 1st I can start off my plants. Good luck with
Nice.
that. I start hardening off some of my plants in my high tunnel, and then I bring them out in the morning, and I bring them back in at night. So it's a bit time consuming, but at least like I save on the lights.
Yeah, that's what Marie-Lynn, she's got a video where she was taking stuff out and then bringing it back in.
Yeah, she's taking them to daycare or something like that. I think this
Yeah,
is her
yeah.
video. I missed. I don't know. I'm a bit behind on videos, but like that, I just find it so cute. Something about daycare, or they're going to daycare. Yeah, I do that.
Yeah.
Now I bring out 7 trays morning at night, and then soon it's gonna be even more than that. Thank God my high tunnel is just outside my house. Like I get out of the house, step down a couple of stairs, and my high tunnel was right there. If
Oh,
mine was like further out, I probably would have said screw it. But
yeah.
like my tomatoes are not even in the high tunnel, and I have I think 8 trays of 18.
Yeah, I think that's a lot. My mom was talking about having a garden this year, and she said, I just can't do a garden. She says, maybe I could get away with just a tote. And I said, Mom, I'll bring you some plants and you can play with them, do whatever you want. And but I think I'm gonna try to do my tomato plants in the greenhouse, and once it warms up, it'll be more like a high tunnel type thing because
Mm-hmm.
it's tomato and peppers that kind of like the heat, if I remember
Eggplant
right.
as well. Most of the nightshade family enjoys the heat. So tomatoes, eggplants, peppers, they love the heat. Cucumbers, melons, um, those are the 5 that come. Cold hardy crops hate the heat. So cabbage, broccoli, cauliflowers, those either if you do a second planting and you sow them for the fall,
Mhm.
okay. But like a main crop, no cold hard like spinach, lettuce. As soon as end of May arrives, they're all gonna go to seed because you're gonna have too many days over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and they're just not gonna form a head. They're just gonna flower.
Okay, because that's probably what's going on. I transplanted my kale into the high tunnel, and with those warm days, that's of it getting, I mean, over 100 degrees. That's probably why they're doing all right, but they're kind of stunted and um
Well, there's a variation of temperature. You're going like over 100, then going below
yeah,
freezing. So they're like probably all over the place.
yeah,
But it's gonna be at least 2 season learning curve for you.
yeah,
You need this year. You're gonna figure out how it works,
yeah.
and you're probably gonna figure out by the end of the season when it's
I
like
hope
already
so.
over, ready to be packed and finished. But it's gonna be a learning experiment. Like at least like you're gonna experiment spring, summer, fall, and if you're not that if your winter does not get that cold and you can get your hands on a row cover, you can expand your growing season till December. If we have like a winter like we had last year, I could have grown food till the end of December in my high tunnel.
Oh wow.
That would have given me almost 3 planting of cabbage. Like, you know, those 40 days cabbage?
Mm-hmm.
I probably could have one for the main season and then 2 back to back, fall and then winter.
Yeah,
So you
I was talking to my brother about this greenhouse has got it's just one plastic sheet and it's got the zipper doors on the front.
mhm,
And I was thinking about just building a wooden wall around on for the back,
mhm.
and then cutting the plastic away. And actually, I've got a little wood stove that I could actually put in there if I need to. Um,
Well, if
but
all the safety requirements are met, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to heat it. You would need those little fans, those eco
yeah,
fans, to spread the heat around. You can have cold hardy crops probably till January, unless you have those big freezing temperatures. They're gonna die.
yeah. We usually start getting really cold temperatures, and then we can start getting snow on the ground in October, mid October.
I'm not ready for stuff.
Yeah, it
Can we?
is.
I'm ready for May, not October.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna catch up on messages.
Hmm.
My onions, Brussels sprouts, and leeks are okay with full sun now, so that's that. But they will stay inside all week, so repeat acclimation, I suppose. Yeah, sometimes I start acclimating some of my plants, and then a cold snap comes, and I leave them inside, and I have to redo it all over again. Mother Nature, we have to love her.
Mm.
I did plant radishes outside today. Apparently, I am way behind on them. No, you're not. Radishes is now. Uh, it's true. If you're too late with radishes and they go to seed, you're gonna have the pods, which taste exactly the same thing as the radish. Carrots, I think for me it's this week, coming week, that I can start my seeds. I have to look. Some of us are still like I think Marilyn is still like under like a couple of feet of snow. That's probably why she's saying wow. Do you have a lot of snow, Marilyn? You want to plant carrots every 2 weeks. I have so many grow lights now. I could open a garden nursery. You're still gonna need more lights, trust me. The
The
more
electric
you
company will
have,
love you.
the more you have, you're gonna say, "Oh, I have more space now. I can grow this." Yep, daycare. I call it putting them outside and bringing them back in. Dance. Ground cherry loves the heat. I did not know that. So I'm guessing tomatillos also love the heat. Do you know what tomatillos are?
They're the little kind of like tomatoes, but
The ground cherries are very small. They have like a husk and they're yellow. Tomatillos are either green, purple, or there's some that are yellow and they're a bit smaller than a golf ball. You do salsa with them, green salsa.
oh,
And there's yellow ones that are a bit more sugary. And the purple one starts green, and then when it's full maturity, it turns purple. And a roasted salsa with those ones are amazing. That's not for me. If you don't know Tracy's channel, go there and subscribe.
oh, thank you, Marilyn.
How close are you?
Last I checked, I was 410,
Nice.
so it started moving.
Good. 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 It's gonna happen before the end of the summer.
Oh, I hope so.
I hope so.
I
Well,
hope so.
I went from 4 to 500 really fast. There is
Right.
like this growth from 350 to 500. I went like boom. Like there's days that I was going up 25.
Yeah.
I had no idea where it was coming from because like my channel was super quiet, and then out of the blue something like poof.
Yeah. I need to do another generator video or two, just to, because there are a lot of people that subscribed when I did my generator videos,
Your
but I
Honda
just,
one.
yeah, the Predator 2000 there, and it's a little compact one, but um, I I I could have exploited that, but I didn't want to be the generator guy. My brother is the mechanic. My brother can fix almost anything. In fact, that's his job. He works at a Kraft cream cheese factory, and he is the guy who goes around when they have a problem on a machine. He goes and figures it out. But that's not me. I miss that gene completely.
It skipped the generation.
Yeah, I can change spark plugs and oil, but
Well, you can do that. Like
yeah,
I can't do anything mechanic, so everything mechanic is my husband. That's his department. He loves playing with mechanics, hydraulics, electricity, computers, cameras. That's his department. If you need any help with gardening, I'm glad to help you. But other than that, mechanics is not my forte.
yeah,
So I celebrate my like the good things and the ones that I can't. I just pass them on to the ones that are it's their department.
yeah.
I have to reseed my ground cherry. Only 2 plants came out and not growing. This year, same thing. It's the second year I'm having a hard time with my seedlings of ground cherries and my tomatillos. I think I'm just gonna buy mine at the co-op this year. I don't think I've seen tomatillos at my nursery, but ground cherries I've seen them. Where is it? Every person I watch on YouTube said I should have done radishes 2 3 weeks ago. Really?
Hmm.
Well, unless it's full sun and you're gonna have like over 15 degrees Celsius temperatures straight for a week, maybe. Because I think mine was last week. I had to sow them. I could be wrong. I'm the only one that eat radishes here, so I don't plant a lot in the spring. Still have about a foot of snow. Ugh.
We got a snowstorm and I got 16 to 18 inches, and it was enough that in Port Leyden, my friend's father-in-law or father, his greenhouse collapsed on him,
Oh no.
and I was lucky mine didn't. I got home and I saw the foot of snow on it, and I went out and cleaned it off. I was lucky. I was up late that night, um, but uh, but yeah, and the snow is just gone. I mean, we lost it like maybe the last part of yesterday.
We're so over snow.
Yeah,
I am so over snow.
done with it.
Oh, I'm done with it. Like I started transplanting spinach this weekend, so I'm done with snow. I've decided I was done with snow. I just hope Mother Nature's understand.
Yeah, she definitely forgot to take her meds last week.
I think so.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. I like the soil with micro.
mycorrhizas. Um,
I
is
think
that
it isn't that a mushroom?
Yeah, it's like the fingers of a mushroom. It's like with the Bactine garden method, the
Yeah.
mushrooms um they send out their little tentacles, and the plants can actually tap into those and bring out water and nutrients that the mushrooms are collecting.
Cool. The mushroom grow on top of the soil. Seedlings have difficulties in it. Oh, Marilyn says they have difficult. No, wait. And seedlings have difficulties in it. Maybe because they're young?
Oh,
I don't know. This is a new one for me. You
yeah.
might have to explain a little bit more, Marilyn. This is my first year trying radishes. Radishes are super easy. The only thing I would say is as soon as the heat comes, the radishes is gone. and they go to seed quite fast. Hello, Ecocentric Homestead. I'm going to try, Derek, sowing radishes and some greens next week. That was my plan this weekend, to sow a second sowing of greens, all my radishes, and peas. I'm a week or a little bit over a week ahead of time for peas, but I want to try to grow peas this year and preserve peas. I never am able to preserve peas. I always eat it fresh as a snack. They never reach my house. Never, ever, ever. Like my kids, I have to plant a patch of peas, sugar snap peas for the kids, and then I plant one in the main garden. I don't know why. They never reach my house. My kids find a way of eating all their patch, and they find a way of getting into the garden and eating all of mine. So I
My
never have peas.
my wife would sit down. She would cook up a can of. She'd open one of our jars of peas and heat them up and eat them as a snack. That and spinach. She just couldn't get enough. Which it's the spinach is probably because she'd been iron deficient for years. But
That is what I was going to say. If you eat that much spinach, it's because you're iron deficient.
yeah. But with the peas, it was the same thing. It's like me with beans. I'll go through and I'll just grab a handful of beans and just start munching them. The green beans, I love
Green
them.
beans, I
Yeah,
love eating them in certain types in the garden, not the stringless types.
yeah,
The ones with the strings, I prefer cooking them.
yeah.
But the green beans, I can. Some of them never reach the house. I don't think I would be a good the the, the challenge that Remy's doing, Shed Wars. I don't think I would be a good candidate because there's things I wouldn't be able to weigh.
You just have to have a little scale in the garden and throw each bean on it before you eat it.
Yeah, that would be very time consuming.
Yeah.
That would be a very long process. I'm going to try that. Oh, I read that. So, other than your tomato experiment, are you doing other types of experiment, or you're still?
Um, I have my comfrey is doing really good, which it's the comfrey is kind of weird because my wife and I ordered the seeds. She made a cream for aching hands and arthritis and stuff. And one of the ingredients we thought was comfrey, but then when she actually looked, it was camphor. So we had these comfrey seeds. So I said, well, this year I'm going to plant them. And I was just watching Living Traditions Homestead. I don't know if it was a new video that they put out or an old one. But she was actually she cut off her comfrey and macerated it, cut it all up, and put it in water for 3 to 6 weeks. And it's a fertilizer. It's like a 5-1-1 fertilizer. So it would,
Comfrey.
yeah. And
Really?
it would, she said the 5 on nitrogen, the what is it, NPK? The 5
It,
on nitrogen is pretty close with the tea because you're making a tea out of it. And she said after about 3 days you can put it directly on your plants, but after a couple weeks you want to dilute it.
dilute it.
Um,
Okay.
but she
I
said
didn't know that.
it comes out to 5, and then the phosphorus and potassium. The nitrogen is close to a 5, but the phosphorus and potassium are just under 1, if I remember
Okay.
right. So I'm going to try that. Apparently, I was supposed to grow some fertilizer this year. um,
I wasn't never able to find comfrey here.
yeah. We got it. I want to say Baker Creek seeds. Um,
Oh,
but
maybe Baker Creek has it, but like I haven't ordered Baker Creek this year because their shipment went from free for Canada last year to $11 US.
oh wow.
So I love Baker Creek. Like I would buy all those beautiful varieties that they're not available here.
Yeah.
And when I came out to, make my purchase, I saw that $11 charge of, when you're so used to being free,
Mhm.
I kind of went, oh. And then in my gardener groups, Canadian gardener groups, some of them actually got hit with a, when you cross the border,
Like a
sometimes,
tariff
yeah,
tax?
they had to pay a tax. I'm not sure if it's called a tax, but some had to pay $80 to claim their receipts. So someone placed like a $300 order, paid the $11 of shipping, and then the brokers called her and say for you to receive your seeds, you have to pay $80. So I was like, okay.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, some seeds you have to pay for it to cross. Some, I'm guessing the smaller orders don't get caught, but like a small order for $11 of shipping, like
Yeah.
you at least buy like 10 packs of seeds, so that's like it goes up quite fast.
Yeah.
So this year I did not order for them because of that.
Yeah. It's weird. I think Darren from Thorhaven was talking about the tax on seeds and stuff.
Yeah, because
It's
it's a service.
it's a service.
Where I asked the same, like I saw his video. When I go buy a pepper, I will not pay taxes because it's not a service; it's food. If I
Right.
buy pepper seeds, the company is offering you a service to make food. So it's like a gray zone.
Yeah.
When the nursery guy told me that, I'm like, you guys are playing with words. A seed is a food.
Yeah.
Seed is a food
Literally.
because but the government wants you to pay taxes, and
Oh yes.
we can talk over, and like I can blow everyone's mind with that, but it's a service. A
Yeah.
seed is considered a service. A tree is not food. So when you go at the nursery and you buy a tree, you have to pay
Right.
taxes on it, even though it's going to provide you with food, but the nursery is providing you a service, therefore it has
That's
to be taxed.
that's how New York gets away with their prepared food taxes. If
Prepared.
I
Oh,
go and I buy a uh
like a pizza, like a pre-made pizza.
yeah, a pizza, there's going to be tax on it because it's
Okay.
heated and cooked. I believe if you buy a sub that is not heated or cooked, there's no tax on it. Of
I
some,
know there's like a little loophole also here. If it's a pizza or fast food in a, I was going to say nursery, but it's not nursery. Grocery store, some
Mhm.
taxes apply. So if I buy a bag of chips, there's tax that applies. If I
Right,
buy a frozen pizza, there's tax on it or something like that. But if I buy a bread, that's the dough, and then
right,
sauce, and then there's because it's like a primary food, there's not
right.
going to be taxes on them.
Yeah. It's just amazing, and it kind of makes you wonder what those taxes actually go for. Um,
Well, here there's good things. Here we have access to free healthcare,
mhm.
so we have to pay it somehow.
Right,
So part of our
and
taxes are made for that.
right, like the fast food type taxes, the various sin taxes, um, they were talking about that on the roundtable the other night. The various sin taxes are to cover that too, because whereas sure you can eat anything you want, but if you're poor in health, that's going to affect
Other
everybody else's health care,
others, yeah.
and that's yeah. Um,
Like I know that it's frustrating. Like every time I pay out and I see taxes on seeds, it aggravates me. But it is what it is. There's nothing
Yeah,
we can do
absolutely. Yeah,
unless we go back in in old times. Like we have to grow all of us our own food or trade or around those lines. I don't think taxes will drop
no,
on seeds
no.
or
Once,
any type of fruit trees or stuff like that. But
no,
at least like when you buy milk, there's no taxes. When you buy bread, there's no taxes. So like at least that is, I would say, basics, because if you start taxing milk and bread, a lot of people won't be able to eat.
Yeah.
Sadly, especially now with everything going up. Like it's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
It is. And with the seeds, about the only way we can get around that is for air. I try to order or buy all heirloom varieties
To
of
save the
the main
seeds.
things, just so I can save my seeds. One tomato will give you enough seeds for next year of that variety. You know,
For you, you will have enough to share in for yourself.
yeah,
For sure. Unless like it's those paste tomatoes. Paste tomatoes maybe have
yeah.
like
They don't have.
15 seeds inside. So you might need two, three.
Yeah,
But you're removing the seeds anyways. So
right.
you might as well just save them. So but even let's just say that you have a hybrid in you're stuck like in the end of the world situation and you save
Right.
the seeds of a hybrid, you're still going to have a tomato.
Right.
The seed that you save will be a tomato, just not what you expect it to be.
Right. And
It's not going to turn out an alien tomato.
yeah, and the thing, the attributes, like, you might get a beefsteak size tomato, but it might not be pretty. It might have a lot of ridges in it. It might
Yeah.
not be that smooth, round. The mother plant might have had some attribute. You might get more attributes from the female plant than you do
Mm-hmm.
the male. Um, the thing is I don't need my food to be pretty. I just,
No, you
I
just
just want it to give me the nutrition I need. Yeah. It's like the big guy on Austin Powers, baby, get in my tummy.
wait in my belly.
In my belly. Yeah.
Get in my belly.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, no, I want to enjoy what I eat, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's why I have a
Oh,
little bit of
flavor is
beauty.
definitely important.
Flavor is important. That's why in tomatoes, I try to stay as far as possible as hybrids
Mm-hmm.
because I find they give me production. Like I'll have sauce and stuff like that, but they don't give me that pleasure of that flavorful tomato sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
So I have sometimes, well, not this year. Sometimes I will have hybrids for production purposes, and
Right.
then I have the heirlooms for pleasure. Well, pleasures for the good eating aspect
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah. Because if you're making a sauce, you get the tomato base, and then you can kind of spice it up with the various other ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
So hybrids are good for that. But man, there is nothing like picking. I love these black princes.
Mm-hmm. I
Uh,
discovered them last year. They're perfect size for one tomato sandwich for
yeah,
one person.
yeah.
Yeah, they're really good. I don't know where I saw it. Someone told me you should try the Black Prince because I like the black crim, but the black crim is super big and it cracks.
Mm-hmm.
But the Black Prince, at this point for me, it did not crack, and it's just that perfect one size tomato. I always end up putting two, but if I only have one, it's just enough.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm behind on comments again. I'm not sure I like the soil with. I can't say this word. I'm sorry. In the seeds, the mushrooms grow on top of the soil and seed. Okay, no, I read that. This is the first year I'm trying radishes. Oh, I don't know why my comments went up.
Oh,
I read that. I read this. The root system gets much bigger. Okay, no, I didn't read this. The word I can't read are natural in the nature. They tap in plant roots and it's a mutual resource sharing. I have to research a bit who gives what, but as the mushroom taps in the root system gets bigger. Okay, so we're learning something even tonight.
yeah.
Ecocentric says, weigh yourself before and after your trip to the garden.
I
I'm
ate.
not sure. I'm not sure I'm going to weigh myself. Mm-mm, mm-mm.
I can't tell you how many how many pounds of carrots or how many grams of beans I ate, but it all totaled to 20 pounds.
Hello, Gail. I think this is the second time I see you here. Welcome.
Hi, Gail.
And then Marilyn says, okay, gets the sugars from the plants, and the plants get the water and the minerals from.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're right.
Because it's like with the wood chips, it's fungus, the mushroom type fungus that breaks down the wood chips, which is great for your perennial plants, your trees, your woody type plants. I was watching a video on this the other day, but then like with your manure type soil, that's more of a bacteria based breaking down, and that for is better for your annual plants. It's like the guy that does the back to Eden gardening.
I forgot his name.
Paul Gouch, yeah. But he does the wood chips, but then he takes and he uses compost. He feeds his chickens the weeds and the plant. A lot of his plants, they turn that into and he uses that compost for his actual beds within the garden.
Okay.
So he's not planting in the wood chips. Now in his orchard, which is more the perennial plants and apple trees and pear trees and such, he just uses the wood chips, which have that mycorrhizal connection there.
I had very bad experience with wood chips with my first 2 years of gardening. If they were not decomposed enough, my seedlings suffered. Yeah. Now I only use it for my pathways. So in the pathway, if they decompose and like they're gonna give good stuff like under the soil, and then I put compost in my my in-ground garden.
Yeah.
And in as mulch, I use organic straw.
Yeah.
But I have sometimes the seeds, so sometimes I have like friends in my garden, but I no longer use the wood chips in my annual garden. Marilyn, I remove the seeds out of my tomatoes when I do my sauce. When I do, what else? Only when I do my sauce, I remove the seeds. When the government sends out money, they have to get it back somehow. I could go down a rabbit hole with this, so I'm not going to answer that. I'm going to try to keep this conversation friendly. I have a nice hot pepper plant by saving seeds from an Apache pepper. This is the first time I hear this name, an Apache pepper.
I think it's Apache.
Apache? I think you're right. I'm guessing it's a spicy pepper. Hello, Tammy.
Tammy.
Hello, Michael.
Mike and Bobby. They I actually emailed them the other day and they got right back to me. I did one of their videos for my red elderberry. I took clippings from it and put them in water, and they're doing great. But we still got cold weather possible coming here, so I didn't want to put them out in the ground. So he told me I could go ahead and up pot them, and they would do really well. I just got to watch, because once the roots are happy, the roots will grow like crazy, he said.
Yeah, I remember having him, and he talked about his elderberry.
Yeah.
He had a lot. Lots of knowledge, too.
Some healthy plants there, the elderberry.
I would love to have them on my land, but I'm so scared that my kids are going to eat them.
I think you can eat. I think it's the seeds.
No, well, I'm not sure exactly which part is poison. Well, poisonous. Poisonous is a big name, but you get diarrhea, or it's throwing. I can't remember. It's one or the other. but you have to eat a certain amount. But like my kids love berries,
Yeah.
and they're too young to understand like this is not good, this is good.
Well,
So
then you got to be careful with elderberries too, because one of the lookalikes of elderberries is water hemlock, and that is a horrible death if you eat a lot of water hemlock.
what's it called?
Water hemlock. Um,
Water.
I I think it's I think one of the ways to tell the difference is the elderberry has a woody stalk, like a barky type
Can you
stalk.
say it again? Water hemlock.
Hemlock, yeah.
That's water hemlock. Is that a tree or a plant?
I think it can be both. I'm not really sure. My brother pointed it out to us one day when we were camping. We took a bunch of kids camping. Um and he said, "Yeah, don't eat that. That will kill you horribly." And
I don't know.
when I did the research, because I had the bush growing here, and my phone said it was
Yarrow?
elderberry.
Elderberry. Because it does
I
look like yarrow too.
Yeah.
Hmm. Another thing I have to learn. I'll add that to the list.
Well, that's the cool thing about foraging. You never really know what you're going to get. You have to know before you harvest something what you're harvesting, because it can really mess you up.
Well, I have decided not to go alone,
Mm-hmm.
doing like any sorts of foraging until I can either have someone that's like an experimented person,
Mm-hmm.
or I pay a course like to learn about mushrooms or basics, because you can get poisoned like thinking it's a mushroom, but
Yeah.
it could be deadly. So I rather do it with someone that's experienced.
Or wake up naked in a field somewhere because you got the wrong mushroom.
Peace and love, dude.
There's a story behind that, but I'm not going to get into that.
Okay, don't. I can picture it. There's no need to go into details. I can put one
Yeah.
plus one together.
I we were really young at the time.
I hope it was fun.
What I can remember of it was pretty interesting.
Sorry, I had to step away first. No worries, Lynn. You can't eat elderberry raw. Yeah, you have to cook them.
Right.
Raw elderberry are poisonous and can cause nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea, among other symptoms. However, cooked ripe elderberries are perfectly edible and flavorful.
Okay.
Raw elder can make you sick. It is the seeds mostly, very light, best to
Cyanide.
boil.
Yeah.
Hemlock looks like a giant Queen's Anne lace, nothing like elderberry here. Poison hemlock is very deadly. Okay. I really need to learn that. I don't think I've seen this flower here. I've never, like, I'm looking at pictures. I don't think I've seen it in my area. I would have to look into like a book to see like the different
Right.
varieties of water hemlock. Like I rarely go now on hikes because my youngest is such an adventurous person, and he's not going to stay on the path. He's going to say, "Woo! I have to go there."
My
He's going to
kind of
go.
kid.
Oh, he's going to go everywhere, and he's going to bring back so many things. Like I used to know how to identify it's a type of plant, but if it touches your skin, it's there's like a liquid that comes out of what's it called? Poison ivy.
Oh, yeah.
I used to be able to recognize poison ivy, but I haven't been in the woods in a long time, so I have to be careful because he's probably gonna go right in that direction.
Um,
Ever, everywhere he's not supposed to go, he goes.
yeah. My brother and I don't seem to be allergic to poison ivy. I've rolled in it apparently, and the person that was rolling in it pretty much next beside me, they came down with poison ivy, and I was fine. So
Lucky,
yeah,
lucky.
because
Uh,
there was a star, a golden star on top of a building in China, and the workers went up to clean it, and they came down with this mysterious rash that was horrible. And it turned out that the star had been coated with poison ivy oil when it was put up there, and certain parts of it had retained that for a long, long time.
oh my God, they must have suffered.
Yeah.
Hands. I got it on one of my knees, and it's terrible because, like, your knee goes like this, and the skin pulls, and you want to
Yeah.
scratch. Oh God. Oh, I remember that I was like in my early 20s, and I got it on a soccer field.
Yay.
Yeah.
Um, my understanding, poison ivy, I've been told that wherever poison ivy grows, jewelweed grows, but jewelweed doesn't necessarily mean poison ivy's nearby. And jewelweed is a cure, a treatment for poison ivy.
Look
Um,
at that. Nature is really nicely made.
mm,
So you would have the poison ivy and the rebony usually close by.
right.
Hmm.
Um,
I need to learn. I like. There's so many books I want to read and learn about the wild, and I never have the time. Maybe when the kids are older and I have more space in my brain.
yeah.
Like, there's people now asking me so many questions because they're like brand new at gardening, and I don't mind answering them. Like, I answer them because they know that's what I'm doing.
Right.
But I sit down sometimes at night, and I'm like overwhelmed by all the questions that I have, and ironically, I have the answers, or
Yeah.
most of the answers. I can if I can't give them all the answers, I can point them in the right direction, and
Yeah.
then they know where to look for their answer. Sometimes, like, how come I have all of that in my brain and I can't remember someone's name?
Yeah.
It's Yeah, like, I can remember so many things. Remy is asking me a lot of questions on tomatoes and on peppers, and I'm like, "How in the hell am I able to fit all of this in there and remember it all?" But I can't remember a name.
Or why I came into this room.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
That's
yeah,
horrible.
oh, yeah, like, what am I doing here? That's so frustrating.
Oh man.
And, like, you go back, and the minute you sit down, you're like, "Oh, yeah, right," and then you go back. Sometimes I actually forget more than once where I was in that room.
Well,
So it's not age, it's just the brain is, like,
yeah, somebody
overwhelmed.
told me to tie a string around my finger. Well, then I forget what the string is there for. I'm like, what was I supposed to remember? And then I'm even more agitated. Not only did I forget what I wanted to remember, I forgot why I put this, why I put the string on my finger.
I do that with my groceries. Like, okay, I have 3 things to pick up. 3 things. It can't be complicated. So I go to the grocery store, and I'm like, "Okay, I remember 1 and 2," and I'm like, "What the hell was 3?" It was only 3 things, and my mind doesn't remember. And then I get back home, and the grocery store is like half an hour from my house.
Yeah.
I'm like, for sakes, I forgot the 3rd thing.
Yeah.
So I have to go back the next day. That's why now in my phone, I make lists.
Yeah.
I have a list, like, I have an iPhone, and I have a list for my grocery. I have a list of chores I have to do daily. And I have a list, and I started this year, of seeds that I need to buy. Because if I go on a shopping spree, oh, that seed looks good. My collection is super big. I probably have it already. So I have that list going on, like, during the year, and then when my fruits comes to fruition, I just make sure to save the seeds of the ones that are heirloom, and then the hybrids that I buy, I just add it on my list.
Yeah.
Because I have a tendency sometimes of buying seed in double. I'm not sure what Michael laughs. This is probably the joke of the string on your finger.
Yeah.
I have awful memory lost from the chemo. It is awful. I will forget right in the middle of talking. It has nothing to do with chemo. I do that all
Well,
the time.
there is a thing called chemo brain.
Really?
Yeah, my wife had it, and it was just, you could see on certain chemos that she was on, it would be really bad, and then she would go on another one and it wouldn't be quite as bad. But the nurses told her they call it chemo brain, just because your body is being inundated with poison plus the cancer, and it just affects your memory.
So
Some of it.
it's similar to pregnancy brain. Like your
Yeah.
body is occupied creating life. So
Yeah.
sometimes like you get confused. I would say chemo, your body is so preoccupied by healing itself.
Yeah.
Hmm, makes sense.
Well, that is actually what actually killed my wife. Was the cancer took over so much of her liver that her liver was trying so hard to repair itself, it made, I forget what the chemical is, and that chemical got to her brain and started really affecting, which it was kind of a blessing, because she would just start napping, go to sleep, and then the naps would get longer and longer until finally um her body just couldn't keep up. But wasn't the cancer, it was her liver trying to repair itself, and there was nothing they could do, because the liver, you can't live without a liver.
Unless you transplant.
Well, and she couldn't get a transplant because the
Because
cancer had spread to her lungs, and yeah,
yeah,
it
she was not a perfect candidate.
no, no.
That's sad. Well, at least she left peacefully, somewhat
Yes, it
peacefully.
it it was actually pretty cool. Um, did I just say that? It
No, I understood what you meant.
Yeah,
It's better to leave peacefully than in so much pain.
yeah. I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and to give her meds, and she hadn't been really conscious for the day before, and I took her pulse and her blood oxygen, and her arms didn't have any pulse, and so I stayed up, and I sat down with her, and I was singing her hymns and stuff, um, and there came a point where she opened her eyes, she looked over to the side of the room, and then she looked at me, and I said, "Honey, if they're here for you, go with them. It's okay. We're gonna be all right." And she just looked at me for a second, and then closed her eyes, and her breathing just teetered down, and I lost it for a few minutes, blatting like a baby, and
Must have been
then
hard.
well, it was actually really cool, because right after I composed myself, said, "Okay, I got to call my daughter," because she was going to get hold of the hospice and all that stuff, and let them know. Um, Once I composed myself, the porch light came on, and I think what happened was she hung around until I was going to be okay, and then left. But it was horrible, but it was beautiful at the same time. And that faith that she had, that she showed me before she passed, and before she got really, really sick, um, was a gift to me, because I knew she was going to be okay. It was pretty cool. And
I
I'm
know
so
it's a
thankful.
sad story, but you seem to be healed from it.
Not completely. I miss her like crazy, but our faith, we're Christians, and I know she's okay where she is. Um, I know she really believes, she said straight up, one of the kids from youth group texted us and asked us, is she afraid to die? And she said, no, I know where I'm going. I've got family and friends and eternal life waiting for me. And that to me blew me away, because this was right after we found out that she had till February to live. And then the next day it went from February to, you need to get her home so she can go in peace. So
Hmm.
but just, God's hand was on the whole thing, just the way things happened. And we were very blessed in that.
So it happened quite fast.
Yeah, it went from she she was stage 4 when she was diagnosed. And the doctor that she had, one of the reasons I rant against socialized medicine is she had a doctor at the VA that would say, okay, you have this, and she put it in the computer, and then she would check her breathing and her heart and all that and say, okay, you're good to go. And then she got a new doctor, and Wendy said, well, I got this firmness right here under my rib cage. And the doctor felt it and said, okay, I'm going to set you up to go get an ultrasound. And Wendy says, okay, well, Tuesdays are best for me. And she's like, no, you're going down the hall now to get an ultrasound. Got the ultrasound, went right back to the doctor that day, and she said, okay, there is a mass in your liver, and we're going to send you to get it biopsied and stuff. 18 months later, had she not been diagnosed then, she would have had I think they said 6 to 8 weeks to live. But we ended up with 18 months because of that diagnosis and the treatment there. And towards the end, the last few weeks, let's see, she passed on December 23rd, and it was like November. In sometime in November, she started retaining water really bad because her liver wasn't processing stuff. And we went through trying to find out what was causing that. The heart doctor said, well, your heart's beating irregularly and all this. And then they finally did a scan, and the doctor said, no, your liver is we need to get you in the hospital and try to get your liver functioning.
Hmm.
But
I saw the comment, cancer sucks.
yeah, it does. It does.
What a freak out. It's not remembering. Wait, Marilyn says, what freaked me out is not remembering how to go somewhere while driving there, even if I go there many times. I hate that when it happens. This one is a message for you. Oh, Tracy, I have tears right now. I am so sorry for your loss.
Well, I appreciate it. My loss is heaven's gain. It really is.
Mm.
And I will.
We sure miss seeing Wendy in live streams. Oh, it's true, she was in your live stream.
Yeah, she was.
I never was able to. Well, I didn't know you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
it just happened when I met you. Like,
yeah, because
we met in January. It just
yeah,
happened.
I dove right into the YouTube, and the community was awesome. They really were. I dove right into the YouTube to keep myself busy, and it's been a big help.
Well, gardening
Yeah,
will take care of you. I know people that don't garden don't understand this. A garden will take care of the gardener while the gardener takes care of the garden.
yeah,
It seems simple words, but it's not. It's not simple words, because when you're agitated, you're angry, you're sad, whatever negative feelings, emotions you're going through, you're going to go in that garden of yours and you're going to see nature. You're going to see God if you believe in God.
yeah,
You can breathe in fresh air. You can talk to God. You can talk to your grandma, your grandpa, whoever you want to have a chit
yeah,
chat with. And then you're going to eat good food. You're going to feel blessed because of some things you've done, you've sowed seeds, you're gonna feel so overwhelmed and so happy of all the food that you're bringing in. So then when you leave your garden, technically, unless like you're going through like a tornado of emotions, but
Right.
technically when you leave your garden, you're supposed to be at peace.
Yeah. And it's true. It was funny. Two requests that Wendy had when she was in the hospital. Number one, I said, "Well, who do you want to do your eulogy?" And she said, "Anybody but you." She said, "Because you joke too much." And as we were finding out things, she said, "I want to be cremated, and I want some of my ashes spread on the homestead, which we haven't done yet. We're waiting for better weather." And then she looked directly at me and she says, "Not all in the garden." I said, "Well, there goes my bumper crop of tomatoes."
Well, at least you're going to be able to feel her presence.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Even if her ashes were not there, she probably spent hours in last year's garden.
Last year, last summer, she was pretty much restricted. She came out and she would sit in a chair in the garden and kind of tell me what to do. But
Mm,
last summer, she
that must have
wasn't
been
really.
hard for her.
Yeah, it was because she was the kind to get down and dig and weed and do that stuff that she loved. But she was able to get out in a chair a few times and sit and just enjoy. The first thing she did when we brought her home from the hospital and moved her from the gurney to the hospital bed that was here was wave out the window, and one of the firemen asked her, "Well, who are you waving to?" She said, "The birds." She loved her birds. It was, I got to tell you, the 26 years I had with that woman were pretty cool. My mom
20
is convinced that she uh, brainwashed me into moving off grid and doing the homesteading thing. And I said, "No, Mama, it was a joint decision." Um,
26 wonderful years, I'm guessing.
yeah. Yeah.
That's nice. 26 years. My parents they got married in 49. No, they were born in 49. They were married in 70. So they're a bit more than that.
That's 52 years.
Yeah, 52 years. Yeah, in March of this year.
That's commendable in this day and age.
Yeah. And my mom had a big accident a year and a half ago, so we almost lost her.
I'm sorry about that.
Well,
She,
now she's better.
okay.
She's part of she's part of a miracle. After her injury, the doctors told my dad the cold hard truth. He's like, "I'm not going to be the one that's going to tell you everything's going to be okay. I'm going to be the one that's going to tell you facts." So he said she's not leaving the hospital. She will have a life here for the rest of her life. But against all odds, she walked out.
Awesome.
Yeah. But she has brain damage. So she's now able to drive, but she's not the same person.
Yeah.
So the brain is very complex.
Mm-hmm.
And they only know a certain amount of the brain. And because my
Right.
mom is in her 70s, her brain doesn't function the same way as a 30-year-old or a 40-year-old or a 5-year-old. If it was a 5-year-old, or 10-year-old or 20-year-old, the person would probably be back 100%
Right.
because the
It would
cells regenerate and
make new pathways and
yeah.
yeah.
But because of her age, they told her that it is going to be what it is going to be. The fact that she was out of the hospital was a miracle, and she was cleared. I think it was last spring or last summer. She was able to drive, and it's only long-term memory, like very long-term. It's foggy a little bit, and short-term. So if you tell her, "Mom, can you give me a tomato?" and then she turns around and does something else, she's going to say, "Annie, I don't remember what you just asked me."
Mhm.
So, but even with age, you have short-term memory. But her, we have to keep repeating. Like, Mom, don't forget, I asked you for a tomato. And
Yeah.
she gets angry because she forgets.
Yeah, my mom's hard on herself because she has mom's is mostly just age, and but things from 50 years ago are right there for her. I mean, it's like it just happened. And I'm like, Mom, you realize that happened before I was born, right? Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, I like you're talking about it like it happened yesterday. Like my real father, I was 5 when they got divorced, and he's been dead for several years, and she'll bring up stuff that she just had the argument with him. And I'm like, Mom, you need to forgive him. And she's like, I do. I said, well, because he's dead now.
Well, at least let him be at peace.
Yeah.
It is
Oh,
true we are a good bunch. The
yeah.
community is amazing. Dear Corner, this is the first time I think I see you. Welcome.
Hey, dear
The thing
corner.
about nature, it's your own place and time for your mind.
Yeah.
It's true.
It's funny, but anything you need, you can get. If you need cheering up, you can go out in nature and it'll cheer you up. If you need energy, you go out in nature and you can find the energy. It's amazing.
26 years
Wow.
is amazing. I think this is a message for you. My husband and I will be married 29 years this summer. My parents just celebrated 52 years last week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations on both fronts.
While not married, but 15 years together this October. I'm actually celebrating in October as well. I'm losing track of time. I got married in 2011. I think it's 12 years this year.
Yeah. Uh,
It, it,
23 will be.
no, it's
Wait,
11,
no,
11
11
years.
years. Yeah.
11 years. Woo-hoo. I'm losing track of time. Like, sometimes I
Hopefully
have to
he's not
remember.
watching.
Huh?
Hopefully he's not watching. Distract him,
No,
kids.
no, he's with the kids. Um, yeah, we got married October 15, 2011. And we got, it's kind of hard to forget because we had a medieval wedding.
Oh, cool.
It was a theme wedding. And we had so much fun. 41 years for my parents, I think.
Wow.
Nice. 41 years. I
41 years.
don't think I will reach 41. Well, no, maybe. Because my husband is older than me. So we don't know. He's 12 years older than me.
Oh, wow. Wendy
Just,
was 9 older than me.
well, I dated men my age and they were kids when I was younger. And he's an eternal child. So he is 50, but in his heart, you have to remove a zero sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just watch the sunrise one morning. That
Yeah.
that will heal you for sure. Sunset as well. That's not for me. So, like, I'm 1 year away from being 40 this year. My birthday is next month.
Oh, happy birthday, because I'll forget by then.
Oh well, Himmy wants me to do. You remember that parsley joke? Remember last live we kept saying parsley and people were
Oh,
drinking
yeah.
and squash. Well, Himmy wants us to do that for my birthday. So I'm like, I'm
Good.
not sure because I have to put my son to bed after after the live. Like,
Mommy, tell me a story. Later.
just a little later. My head hurts. So I don't know. I don't know. I told him, yeah, I'll think about it.
Yeah.
Because I don't think my birthday is on the Sunday of the live. Actually, it is.
Wow.
It is. We shall see. I don't know. Because, like, the next day, kids go to school and I have to put the little one to bed. So we shall see. We shall see.
We're gonna have to send you the little pointy hats and noise makers and everything else. Oh, we got to set her up for her birthday.
It's going to be an interesting one. The kids, if I do the noise and all of that, they're going to want to come up.
Well, let them come up. It's your birthday.
I like the sunrise, but later in the winter, it's cold outside. In summer, I get up at 3:30 in the morning. I'm still in bed at 3:30. There's no way I'm getting up at 3:30. You have my respects with that. And it feels good to see another day.
Yeah.
It's true. Every day is a blessing. So your husband will be big 50 this year. Are you doing anything special, Lynn? I wanted to do something special for my husband when he turned 50, but he was like in COVID.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I couldn't. We were in isolation. Well, isolation. We were what do you call it?
Quarantined?
Well, it's not the word. Like we had to stay
Lockdown.
home. Lockdown. That was it.
Lockdown, yeah.
So like we missed our 10-year anniversary of our wedding.
Oh.
And we missed his 50. The last big celebration we did was a week before they locked us down. It was my parents' 50th wedding anniversary. We had like this big, huge party. And then 2 weeks after lockdown.
See, I kind of messed up because we got married on November 18th, and that's the peak of the whitetail rut in New York.
That?
The whitetail deer hunting season.
Hunting season, okay.
During the rut, the bucks get stupid, and so you want to be hunting during the rut. And November 18th, and so I've already decided I'm not gonna hunt on our anniversary because the first time I did it, she didn't say anything, and then I got home, and she didn't say anything.
You're in trouble.
She started talking to me, and then I figured out why. Oh, it was our anniversary yesterday, but I got a deer, you know.
Well, I can't really celebrate our anniversary anyhow because my daughter was born 1 year, 2 days after. So our first year anniversary was October 15th, and my daughter was born October 17th.
Oh, wow.
So every year, my daughter comes first, and then the weekend after that, that's when we celebrate our wedding anniversary or the long weekend before.
Yeah.
Here we have in October, I think it's yours is in November, Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
So we celebrate Thanksgiving and our wedding anniversary. But my daughter comes first because
Well, yeah.
She's gonna be 10 this year.
Wow.
God.
I spent the day with my granddaughters and grandsons, and oh my goodness, the 11-year-old and the 14-year-old, they just had me rolling. It is just so funny to watch them. Who was it that said they got up at 3:30 in the morning?
Marilyn.
Because it brought to my mind our government just voted to get rid of daylight savings time.
Really?
I think
why?
Because there are a lot of people in the United States apparently that don't like daylight savings time. They don't like the change. And
so that means it's going to be during the summer at 8:00. It's going to be dark. Which time are they keeping?
I think they're getting rid of the fall switch or the spring. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how it's going to work.
I do hope that they keep the one that it's
where we get the most daylight. Yeah.
Yeah. I know that when I put back the time and it's 5:00 and it becomes 4, that screws me up.
Yeah.
But it's there for a reason, because when you wake up in the morning, it's daylight. So you technically, if you're an early riser, it doesn't really affect you.
Right. My brother said that something about um or I told my brother it was for the farmers because they have more daylight to work,
Mm.
and you get more daylight in your time frame. And he's like, no, he said that can't be because you got to milk cows at the same time. If you put off milking your cows an hour, he says they won't like you. They won't go
It's
with
gonna
that.
have to be a process, like 5 minutes later
Yeah. and
every day.
and I said, yeah, Trevor, I said, but we have dairy farms up here, but there are a lot of farmers that aren't dairy farmers.
Well, there
But
is a lot of dairy for
there
sure
is, yeah,
because the United States consume a lot of dairy. I
yeah,
think because well, you're very the you're a lot of citizens, but um, I don't know. I would have to read about it because
yeah,
there is a reason why it was invented, and they farmed probably more on bigger scales in the United States when this was implemented. I'm
yeah.
thinking. Well,
I would imagine the plantations and everything. Everything is going on when it's light outside. I
yeah.
mean, it's bad enough with the daylight savings and everything that it starts getting dark at 4 o'clock. You
That
know,
that messes me up. 4 o'clock,
yeah,
that messes me up. Like 7, okay, the sun can go down because the kids go to bed, and because for
well,
me at 9 o'clock when the sun is still up, the kids want to go to bed at 9 o'clock, but I'm like, you go to bed at 7.
yeah.
So
Um,
that kind of throws me off. But I rather have more light than less light.
Yeah, Trevor sometimes he goes when he goes into work it's dark, and when he comes out of work it's
Yeah,
dark.
it's dark. Yeah.
And I'm like, how could you want that? That can't be good.
Well, I was blessed with an office that had only windows. Like my entire side wall in front of my computer screen, I think it was a 15 feet long window.
Oh, nice.
And it was, okay, it was not the perfect view, but at least I was able to see the sun.
Yeah,
So if I would leave my house and it was dark, I would get into work, but then I would have my coffee, eat breakfast, and then at 8 o'clock, I was seeing the sun. But I remember when I used to work for Bell Mobility, which is a company for cell phones.
hmm,
It's like a rectangle shape
yeah.
building, and I was never, ever, ever seeing daylight. Like
Oh man,
the windows were like so small and they were tinted so that the sun was not coming in the building. And I only had 1 hour break. So
oh,
I would never usually go outside. That was killing me. Like windows are important in your work area. I couldn't do it. Cubicles, I can't do it. If ever I go back to work one day, I'm never going back to cubicles. I think I would rather work in 40 degrees Celsius in a farm,
yeah,
like boiling, than
yeah.
going back in cubicles. So Lynn says it's on the weekend, so we are planning a trip away to either Niagara Falls or casino. Ooh.
If,
Married 40, yes.
well, I was just gonna say if she wins any money, I'm a nice guy. I'll split it with her.
You have a big heart.
Yeah,
Married 43 years and my wife hunts with me. Nice.
that must be awesome. Wendy would help me track the deer. She could see blood like crazy. She would go out and help me find the deer after I shot it and process it. But she just didn't really care for the thought of killing. So, but you know,
I was never really introduced to hunting, so I don't know.
oh,
She won't come first for long. You won't be invited to her party. I'm not sure. I don't get up at 3:30. The sun does.
oh,
The sun? Really? Well, the sun wakes up at 5 around here in the
yeah.
summer. We got married June 18th, and my husband's birthday is on June 19th. Well,
Well, happy birthday.
at least your wedding anniversary is celebrated, with his birthday. Mine is with my daughter, and if I tell my daughter that our wedding anniversary is more important, I'm in for a treat.
Yeah.
Ontario is thinking of doing away with it also. Is she talking about daylight saving?
The daylight savings, I think.
No, we don't. We won't fall back this fall. Okay, so you're telling me in Ontario you're gonna have a different time than Quebec, and we're neighbors. That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be fun. It's up your state.
Oh, okay.
It was invented during the war to help with war. It was only meant to be temporary. That
Oh.
part I remember. It was set up for railroad train traffic time. I'm learning so much tonight.
Yeah,
We
absolutely.
won't go to the casino. We have concert there. Well, sometimes you kind of get sidetracked when you go to a casino. I haven't been in a casino in a long time.
Oh, me either.
The first law in the US to establish daylight saving time passed on March 19th, 1918, in the midst of the nation's involvement of World War I as a way of conserving fuel.
That makes perfect sense.
For heating?
No, for light.
Oh,
Because
for light.
in 1918, they were still on oil lamps.
So by changing, they were saving.
Because everyone was doing everything during the light. They were making the best use of the light.
Mm-hmm. Well, if the United States are doing it and Ontario's doing it, probably Quebec's going to follow.
Leave it to the government to.
Well, for me, that is in a pool of shit, that's going on. That's like so far down on my problem list. Like, I don't care. If you're telling me there's no more daylight, like that thing, I'm going to go, okay. Because I don't want to fight that fight because I have too many things to do.
Yep.
I probably will get used to it just as I was getting used to the time change. It's probably going to be weird for a couple of years, and then it's just going to pass like in warm butter. New Brunswick don't have the same time, and we are neighbors because I'm east. I should be Atlantic time. The sun gets up early and down early too. So that means you're like really close from New Brunswick. It is hard in winter when it's dark at 4 p.m. Yep. And cold. When it's dark, cold, and there's a lot of wind, and it starts snowing. Sorry. Yes, Marilyn, it stinks. Yes, ESP in the morning. Especially in the morning when kids are waiting for the bus. Yes. They don't take the bus, they're not allowed to take the bus. Too close from the school. Like the school is less than 400 meters from my house, so I'm not allowed to have the bus. So my kids have to walk to school every morning.
Yay. My parents let me get on the bus at the bus stop down the road once, and I got caught skipping school. So.
You were one of those kids.
Yes,
little rebel.
Yes.
Well, no, I actually, now they're older, but the first time I let my kids walk to school, it was like using the binoculars and making sure it's 400 meters, but so many things can happen in 400 meters.
Yeah.
And then the first couple weeks when they were walking from school to the house, I was like, always like speaking. But now they look like they're doing okay. But my youngest, I will not let him walk to school. He's still way too young. He's only 5.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to wait at least 2-3 years before he's able to walk alone. Because he finishes at 2, and the oldest finishes at 3, and one is in another school, so she finishes at 3 by the time the bus arrives at school, so both of them are back home at 3:30. So because it's the two of them, I let them come back. But if it was just one of them, I probably would pick them up from school.
Yeah.
Oh, I just realized it's 7:30.
Oh, wow. That went fast.
It did. And I got a message from my husband. Are you done? So I'm going to have to let you guys go. Thank you for passing by. I kind of messaged you very late to join me. It was
That's
fun.
all right. Anytime.
And did I miss anything? Yes, no, that's not me. We are 20 minutes drives to our son's school. I hope you have the bus if it's 20 minutes. I have to go. I need to put aloe vera. Yes, take care of that sunburn.
Yeah.
Bye, Marilyn. Bye, everyone. Thanks for everyone popping in and having a nice week. I'll chat with you guys later. I'm not sure if I will be putting 2 videos this week. I'm still recuperating from this stupid virus, and I usually at this time I am falling asleep. Like I wake up late. I sleep during the afternoon with my son, and sometimes I fall asleep like just before 8. So the energy level is not present. So bear with me. I should probably post a video later on this week. Take care, everyone. Thanks for coming in, Deer Corner.
Yes, absolutely. Good to see you, Deer Corner. Don't forget to hit the like button for on the way out.
Yes, don't forget. Do the thumbs up. Take care. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye, guys.